This is the Brandon Alper experience. I have Georgia on the show today.
Hello.
Her and I have been very good friends, and we had recorded beforehand, but we decided out of mutual respect for each other that it was not the smartest thing to post the podcast.
A little too personal.
A little too personal. However, I thought we would retry it now being less personal, and I think that there's been enough to talk about, and just regarding, friendships, and other than that, yeah, I think we can have a pretty fun conversation. So first off, let's get to that Duggar thing.
Oh my God.
But I want to ask you, how has your day been today?
My day's been great. I was busy. Like, this is the first day I've had off from work in so long. So it's like refreshing to not like get up and drive to work.
How is working at Dick's, by the way?
I love Dick's. JK. It's cool. Like, everybody there is like that does not sound nice out of context. But everybody that works there is like in their 20s, maybe. Like, everybody's a teenager or in their 20s. There's a couple managers that are older, and then I work with this guy who's like 65, but he's like the oldest guy there, right? And so it's like hanging out with a bunch of your friends. So like, we always get in trouble for just fucking around.
But what is the trouble when you work at Dick's?
What do you mean trouble?
I mean,
like, what's hard about it?
No, what do you do to get in trouble?
Like, we'll start like passing baseballs around and get in trouble, like, because like the bouncy balls and like we always do like the bouncy balls, like the hand-sized ones, and we just beam them at each other all day to like see if each other's paying attention the whole time.
That sounds very exciting.
In the morning we play pickup basketball.
Pickup basketball?
Yeah.
Can you take the plastic lids off of the
We do
rims?
in the
and you
morning.
actually play?
Yeah. Have you ever walked in and there's a basketball hoop in the middle of the store?
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, we play basketball in that like aisle.
Oh my.
It's called the power aisle, the big aisle going through. We play basketball.
The one that's like all the way down through the middle of it? It's so depressing how sad the Dover Mall is now.
Oh my God, it's so bad. We have like cops come in like every other day.
Why?
Because either people are stealing, people are fighting, and we don't carry any like nice things because everything gets stolen.
I saw rumors that the Dover Mall was going to turn into an Amazon warehouse in a couple of years.
It already is turning into an Amazon warehouse. Was it Macy's? Or
Yeah,
I think
Macy's
it's
just got shut
Macy's
down.
is a fulfillment center. So like people
Really?
bring packages there. Yeah. You didn't know that?
No, I didn't.
No, people like, there's like a whole like warehouse in there now, but people come in and like, I'm like, where are you going? Like, everywhere good's shut down.
And I don't know, because when you go to the Dover Mall, it still says Macy's on the front of it, but it's closed.
Yeah.
I do miss Macy's, though. They had some really cool clothes in there.
Honestly, everything that we sell, not everything, but most of the stuff that we sell at Dick's, you could have gotten at Macy's for like $10 cheaper.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is Dick's so expensive then?
Because it's like high-end sporting goods. Like Carrie Underwood's brand is super expensive because she's on high-end athletic fashion wear is like what her brand is. So like a pair of her leggings are like $98.
I thought you were talking about Louisville Slugger.
That's a baseball bat.
Yeah, I know.
And
What
those are expensive. Those are like, a baseball bat now is like $400. Like a really nice drop 3 Louisville Slugger. I know way too much about baseball now.
Is that only wooden bats or metals?
That's like a metal or like a composite baseball bat.
Okay.
The wood ones aren't that expensive.
And those are that's what actual MLB players play with, right?
Yeah, but we don't carry like the Pro Series wood ones. We carry like high school, college series. But like people in high school choose to use metal bats.
Gotcha. Well, just because you can hit the ball farther with them, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I remember I went to Walmart yesterday or 2 days ago because the basketball that I was playing basketball with was completely eroded.
Nice.
Yeah, it had no skin left on it, so I needed a new one. So I went to Walmart and I saw a really cool basketball that I wanted to get, and it was $24. And I thought that was really expensive for a basketball. And I ended up buying it the day after because I went back and realized that I wanted it. But I saw how much the game balls actually are for basketball. They're $125.
Oh, yeah, like, like at school, like when I helped out with the basketball team and stuff, we had game basketballs that like we did not touch at practice. Like if one of the boys got one of the game balls out for practice, like they would have gotten screamed at. Because they're like brand new basketballs. They have like the school logo written in them. Like they're nice basketballs, right? And then you have the practice basketballs. And those are still like expensive. Like if you break down sports costs, it's so expensive to be an athlete.
I'm pretty sure, but lacrosse is the most expensive one, or is it golf?
Golf is like a set of golf clubs, like at Dick's Sporting Goods. Like you're dropping like a couple grand, I think.
I remember
that's why it's just like a rich people sport.
Yeah, it's an old people sport.
Yeah,
but I'm pretty sure I've seen people sell entire golf sets on Facebook Marketplace and on those websites where you can like meet up with someone online for pretty cheap though, for $100.
Their resale value isn't that high, but you like.
Yeah, but if you actually want to buy a brand new one,
yeah,
okay.
It just kind of depends.
I gotcha.
Yeah, I would argue that hockey is the most. Ice hockey is really expensive because you have to pay for rink fees. You have to pay to get your ice skates sharpened every once in a while. Like the equipment's really expensive. Like hockey players are like, they come from like families with money, or like it's expensive to play ice hockey.
Jeez, I thought lacrosse was expensive because I mean, is there I guess hockey though, because you can break your stick pretty often.
Yeah, and hockey sticks are expensive.
And I've been to a fair amount of lacrosse games recently, and I've seen a lot of people breaking their sticks too.
Lacrosse sticks?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen someone break a lacrosse stick.
Seriously.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a rare occasion that I've seen it the past couple days or games that I've been through, but been to.
Like in a row or like same game?
Swear to God.
Like multiple people have broken a stick in the same game.
I think because I went to the CR game, the last one that they had, and I saw two people break their sticks. One person smacked the mess out of it, snapped it in half, and then another person broke the head off. I'm pretty sure.
I've seen that happen. Like when my older brother used to play lacrosse, he used to break the head of the stick all the time. But I've never seen like the metal pole like snap in half or bend.
No, I mean actually break in half. Have you seen the video of Bo Jackson where he, hits the ball and then he snaps the thing over his head?
Yeah.
Imagine how strong you have to be a behemoth human like that.
I think you gotta be like pretty strong.
No, I mean, as long as you weigh about 15 pounds, I think you could probably do
At
it.
least.
At least.
You gotta be like real dense.
You gotta have a fair amount of muscle.
You gotta be a really dense 15 pounds.
Support for the Brandon Alper experience is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in the world for men's grooming below the waist. Manscaped just launched their 4th generation trimmer, the Lawnmower 4.0. I'm one of the first people to try out the new Lawnmower 4.0, and I'm absolutely blown away by the performance. The craftsmanship and details on the 4.0 are next level. Their 4th generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their wonderful skin-safe technology. This upgraded trimmer includes a multi-function travel lock, or if you press the button 3 times, it will engage the travel lock. The Lawnmower 4.0 also consists of a 4K LED light that helps give you a precise shave where you can turn it on or off as needed. Did I mention wireless charging? The new wireless charging system consists of electromagnetic induction, which helps the battery length last longer. The Lawnmower 4.0 even allows you to customize your trim with additional lengths and sizes from 1 through 4. Get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com using the code Alper. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com using the code Alper. Unlock your confidence and always use the tools for the right job with Manscaped. Trust me when I say this. Your balls will thank you. All right. Besides that, what is this Duggar thing that you're talking about?
Okay. I don't remember what the brother's name is.
Okay.
I don't know if you want me to Google it. I think it's Josh Duggar.
What are they?
You don't.
They're humans?
The Duggars from 19 Kids and Counting.
I've never watched that a day in my life.
It's the reality TV show where the Duggars, they're like a Mormon family. And I'm not bashing like the Mormon religion because like there's a lot of different, it's like being Catholic, like there's different parts of it, right? And it was like the show on TLC where like this lady had crap ton of kids, right? And the oldest one just got arrested for like having like a shit ton of kiddie porn, like a lot. And he's the oldest of like a bunch of sisters, and like now it's like he's been like messing with his sisters and stuff, and like it's gross. It's disgusting. What? Yeah. And apparently I saw it in the news that like the parents like punished him the first time he got caught with one of like the younger daughters, and he had to like dig a hole. That was like his punishment.
Oh, I thought you were talking about where the people have to dig their hole for their imminent doom.
What are you talking about?
I'm pretty sure
Would you dig your grave?
I'm pretty sure it was in World War II where they would make people dig their grave. I thought that's what you were talking about.
That's like at like the camps. They had people dig the mass graves. That's what they were doing half the time. Jeez. Like when they were in labor camps, they were digging ditches for mass burials.
Good God. I only know this because of the movie Inglourious Bastards. If you remember when they're making the guy dig their grave.
Love that movie.
That's a really good movie.
I love that movie. That's one of like, I think that's my top one.
Seriously?
I think so, yeah. I love the way that movie is like two different plots.
Mm-hmm. And then it comes mashing together.
I would say 3 different plots, even more than that.
Well, there's the one with Brad Pitt and then the one with the woman. And then what's the other one?
The
Hitler plot?
I would say the plot of the movie were the French girl, right? Yes. I would say her growing up is a separate plot.
Oh my God, I love Hans Landa in that movie.
She's gorgeous.
No, I'm talking about I can't remember his name. Well, his name's Hans Landa in the movie.
I thought that was the girl's name.
No, I can't remember her name.
God, she's beautiful. Like, she's just naturally, like, stunning. And I thought that was her name because it sounded like it was.
I'm talking about, I love the character because of how well he actually played the character.
He's such a good actor.
He won, it wasn't back-to-back Oscars, but he won an Oscar for that movie and then for Django, too.
That's another great movie, too. Movie.
Have you seen all Tarantino movies?
I've seen a lot of them.
I've seen most of them. But
what's your favorite?
My favorite? I want to say Pulp Fiction is my favorite, but at the same time, I hate the Bruce Willis plot of that movie.
I don't like that either.
Because the golden ring, what was it, a golden watch? Golden ring? I don't remember what it was.
It was a piece of jewelry.
Yeah. That entire plot point of the movie was just so boring to me.
I know, because the movie hits like a climax and then it just stops. Mm-hmm. And then it's just so boring. And then you have to get through it. And it's like nobody cares about the jewelry. Like nobody cares. And then it goes back to the main plot.
The part of the movie with I can't remember his name, the big dude, where we're in the gimp suit.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That part of the movie, that's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Do you think that like the Bruce Willis part was supposed to be funny?
Which part?
Like just
the entirety of it?
Yeah.
I think it was supposed to be serious. It might have been ironic.
Like
that
satire?
Might have been the goal. Yeah, but I just didn't find it funny. I found it really boring.
I always fall asleep at that part.
Mm-hmm.
And I can sit through like Inglourious Bastards, the whole thing.
Oh, I can watch that movie easily.
And that movie is really long. Mm-hmm. And Django too. I can sit through that whole movie.
I love Jamie Foxx though.
I love Jamie Foxx.
I don't know. I love and I appreciate, I've talked about this on an older podcast. I love Donald Glover and I love anybody that can do and that has a lot of versatility within their field. And I think Jamie Foxx can do everything.
Can I ask you if you've seen his short? Donald Glover has a short film. It's called Mr. Happy.
Is that with Chance the Rapper?
Yeah, I think Donald Glover like helped produce it or something like that.
It's where Chance the Rapper hires a hitman to kill himself, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And it's called Mr. Happy because it's almost bittersweet because he wants to die a painless death and he wants to be happy. Mm-hmm. And it's like you get to that point and then it's almost like he changes his mind because he doesn't want to die because he's finally happy. Mm-hmm. But I don't know, like that short film always gets me because it's like you're sad that he died, but he also died peacefully in a way because he finally got everything he wanted and he didn't know any better.
Yeah, I agree.
But it's also like, ooh.
It was a good movie though, or a good short film. I remember Noah showed it to me.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny because I thought I showed you that.
I remember, did you?
I don't know because I show everybody that film. Like,
did you show it to him and then he showed it to me? Maybe
I might have. I don't know. I haven't like. I was close with him when we were younger. I haven't really like hung out with him in like years. I would say so. Like maybe. Okay. I don't know. Like Noah could have very well showed you. Yeah. I don't have the best memory when it comes to that.
Because I remember I'm positive I remember watching that in his basement.
You might have.
Probably. I do remember watching, what's the Andy Samberg, Kit Harington documentary? That is...
The tennis one?
Yes.
What is that? What is that fucking called?
7 Days in Hell.
7 Days in Hell! That movie is so fucking funny. That is the funniest... I think that is the funniest Andy Samberg movie ever.
I usually
Nothing beats that.
That is a very funny skit.
He had so many good actors in it too, which he had Howie Mandel in it for like maybe 20 minutes.
Serena Williams was in it too, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember.
The whole plot was that he was Serena Williams' younger brother. That was one of the plot lines of the movie. I don't remember that. He was her younger brother. They called it the reverse blind side.
Okay.
That's like one of the plot lines of the movie.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, the whole time Serena Williams is like, my brother, my brother, my brother. Huh. You don't remember that?
I don't. The only things that pop out to me are...
That movie's a trip.
The intense amounts of indubitablies, which is all that I say. Used to be all that I said because of that.
His opponent, he never went to school, so his mom taught him like high vocabulary words, but he didn't know what they meant. So he'd just be like, indubitably, like after everything. Do you even know what it means?
Yeah. It means without a doubt.
Yeah, like he would just say it like all the time.
I would always say that. If you asked any of my teachers from last year, oh my God, I would say that all the time.
Yeah, I know. I think every conversation I had with you, like either we were texting or talking, you said it at least once.
It's a really funny response to questions.
It is, because it's a big word and not a lot of people actually know what it means.
But it's literally just another way to say yes in a sense.
Or like, oh, no doubt.
Yeah.
Like that's literally what it means. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, for sure.
For sure. Nah, but you just say
indubitably. You know what that reminds me of? What's the football player? I can't. Next question. Oh, Marshawn Lynch. No comment.
I'm just here so I won't get fined.
Yeah, that's my favorite sports moment, I think, ever.
I remember before 7 Days in Hell, though, I remember Kawhi. Kawhi continuously said indubitably. Maybe it was after, but I remember him standing up in a commercial wearing a Spurs uniform and saying indubitably. I remember that.
What commercial was that?
It was an actual commercial. I'm pretty sure Tony Parker was in it. So was Tim Duncan.
Do you know like what it was for?
No. I just remember him being very elegant and just going.
He's so eloquent. Indubitably. Like
indubitably.
Was it like the Hulu commercials where they're like Hulu has live sports?
I like Damian Lillard.
That's like all the fucking sports commercials now.
All the sports commercials? They are.
A lot of them are Hulu.
Yeah, because Hulu has live sports, but then Hulu doesn't just have live sports.
Yeah. I don't know. I would love to be an athlete and just have so many just brand deals that even if I'm doing shit, I still have, I'm making millions off of Gatorade. You know what I mean?
You know how lucky it must be to literally not have to just show up for a commercial or promote a brand and then you make money off of it.
LeBron James, what did he say? He spends millions on his body. What did he say? He said he spends like $1 million on his body a year, like keeping it up to shape, something like high like that. And I was breaking it down with somebody, and we were like, he probably doesn't even take that all out of what he gets from playing basketball. That's probably just purely like, what's the word?
Endorsement money.
Endorsement money. Like it's probably just literally like his play money, you know? God.
A lot of I don't want to say a lot of players, but I'm pretty sure most of the players that go broke. Why do most players go broke? Is it because they'd never had that much money before?
Young athletes. That's like a big problem. So like athletes will get like drafted, whatever, and then you just see them just making like, they're buying Rolexes, they're fucking buying a brand new car or whatever. Like they've never had that much money before. Because mind you, you don't make any money in the NCAA.
No.
You don't make any money in the NCAA. I think they just changed that.
I'm pretty sure you're allowed to get endorsements now. I don't know if you can get actually paid by the school, but I think you can make endorsement money now while being in the NCAA.
I know that they changed the law.
They did. I don't know what it is, though.
But let's use... I don't think he's going to be stupid with his money because of just how I've seen him on socials and stuff like that and just, like, his marriage, whatever. Let's take Trevor Lawrence, right?
Okay.
On draft day, he announced that he had, like, a deal with Gatorade, right? You're a young athlete, and suddenly you have all this money, like, pushed towards you, whether it's endorsements or just your contract. Like, before you sign anything, you have millions of dollars because he puts a Gatorade bottle in front of him on draft day. That's probably all he had to do is show that, oh, I'm drinking Gatorade when they flash, like, my family's house, right? So it's like, you have millions of dollars. Like, why wouldn't you buy a brand new car? Like, why wouldn't you do all this? Is someone calling me? Pause so you can edit that out.
Nah, you're good.
But you're making all this fucking money, and it's like they're making dumb decisions because you go from being a student athlete where you're living in a dorm, you're doing like nothing but play football. That's literally all they do. And then you just suddenly have all this free time and money.
Is it free time? Because they have to go through a lot of practice, though.
I wouldn't say free time. I would say free time. I would say free time because you're finally not living with just your team.
Okay. In
a sense. Like, I have a friend who plays football at UNC.
Jeez.
Yeah, he's insane. And he wasn't even a true freshman last year because he reclassed as a senior in high school, reclassed at UNC. Okay. Because like they canceled his football season because of COVID, so whatever. But they literally all live together. So you go from living with like these groups of guys to just being like almost completely on your own with a ton of money. So like, don't you see how that could be easy to blow?
I'm sort of changing the subject, sort of not. I 1000% see how easy it is to blow. But you're a big J. Cole fan, aren't you?
Yeah.
You remember the song 1985?
Yeah.
I loved the message that he was trying to get across with that song, where people, you all of a sudden have this new fame, and rather than buying a house for your mom, you buy new cars, you buy new watches.
That's like with an athlete, though, but the difference between an athlete and a musician is you still have, when you're a student athlete, you have all that media attention, but no money. Mind you, when you're like an artist, it's progressive, like I feel like there's different levels of fame.
Okay.
Like deeper levels of fame for an artist than there is for do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, whereas an athlete, you go from being in high school to being in college, and then college, some people only watch college football. So you have those fans, and then from college, it's the NFL.
Okay.
So I feel like there's less of a transition.
I don't understand.
You don't get what I'm saying?
I don't.
I'm trying to say, like, when you're an artist, like, your popularity progresses slower. Whereas an athlete, you're suddenly, like...
I disagree.
If you're a 5-star recruit, like, you're suddenly, like, a star. You know what I mean?
Well, the thing is, I understand what you're trying to say with that, but the same thing goes with musicians. I mean, if you look at Olivia Rodrigo, for example. Okay. She just had the #1 song with Driver's License. I'm not going to lie. That's a good-ass song. I'm not sure how old she is.
She's like our age.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she is our age. I mean, she was on Disney Channel, so she was definitely successful beforehand, but all of a sudden she releases a song and she's #1. She's in the spotlight. She literally has the biggest song in the country.
I think her that other song is like on the
Deja
top
Vu.
10 too.
That's a good song.
And
This girl's really good.
She's talented. I think she's going to be like the next Zendaya.
I love Zendaya too.
I love Zendaya, but I think being an artist, I feel like it's also more stable because if you're an athlete and you're in the spotlight, you break your arm, you break your leg, you can just kind of fade away. Whereas if you're a singer...
I disagree because if you drop a bad album, a lot of people are just going to drop you at that point. There's a lot of pressure on musicians.
There's more loyal fans.
I agree.
Sports fan.
I think basketball fans are very loyal to players, but I think football fans
is
are less
your
loyal.
team.
Yes.
That's your team. Like, I am a Washington football team fan.
Yeah.
Like, when Pierre Garçon left, it was like, okay, bye. Like, like I didn't follow him as a player. I was just, like, he was one of my favorites, but when he left, he was gone.
And the only time I'm wrong, I'm a Patriots fan, but I would be wrong if I were to say that I was not rooting for the Buccaneers to win the Super Bowl. I mean, come on, it's Tom Brady.
I think Tom Brady fans are just a different breed, but I think I can agree with you on that sense because I love Chase Young. Like, I watched him in college, you know, like I loved watching him play in college, and I was like, oh my God, we have to draft him. And then when we drafted him, I was like, oh yeah, number 1 pick, like Chase Young. I was so happy. So like, I feel like, I doubt he will because he grew up a Washington fan.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
He grew up in DC and like was like a huge Washington fan.
I actually did not know that.
Yeah, so it's like really cool that he plays for him. So like, and he's a beast, so I doubt we'd ever trade him. But say like he left, which I don't think is gonna happen, knock on wood, I'd have to. I'd have to follow his career.
I'm a Knicks fan, which is great this year.
The Knicks are finally good.
I know the Knicks are actually good this year, but disregarding that, I'm a huge Carmelo Anthony fan, and I will go any team. I will root for any team that he plays for just because I love Melo.
Yeah.
But I think the loyalty regarding players is a lot more serious. I mean, there's so many people that worship the feet of LeBron.
Let's talk. Okay, I'm gonna use Robert Griffin III as my example here.
Okay.
He was a superstar.
Okay.
Tell me I'm wrong. He was hot shit.
Poor guy.
And then he hurt himself.
Okay.
And then he just wasn't hot shit. No one was loyal to him. No one was like, yeah, RG3. Like, you know? Like, at first, like, when he started playing for Washington, it was like, people were chanting when he came out. Like, I remember being at the game where he got hurt and Kirk Cousins came in. Like, people were, like, upset when he first hurt his knee. But then the second time, it was like...
Yeah, everyone kind of... Well, I remember the world went silent when D Rose tore his ACL.
I think that's different, though.
Why is that different?
Hold on, let's pause real quick. My mom's calling me.
Oh, yeah, you're good.
Who are we talking about?
We were talking about RG3, and then we mentioned D Rose and how he tore his ACL.
So when D Rose tore his ACL, when D Rose tore his ACL, he was more popular.
Yeah, because he was the youngest MVP of all time, correct?
That's not at the same level as RG3, though, because when you hit the MVP level, you're just a household name. And there's a difference between, you can't fall off the face of the earth when you've hit that point. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Now. RG3 never truly reached that level, that peak.
He could have.
He
was
1000%.
almost there.
Yeah.
Like, if he hadn't hurt his knee, I feel like he was, like, could have been MVP status. I'm not, like, that's not just me as a Washington fan. I just genuinely think he was a young quarterback, and he could have been great.
Oh, I agree with you.
And it was just circumstance.
It's just, I always worry about these mobile quarterbacks because you see what happens to them when they run too much, and it's making me scared for Lamar Jackson because I'm not going to lie, when I watch the Patriots play the Ravens, I get pissed because I don't know how to stop. Well, obviously, I'm not on the team. I don't know how to stop Lamar Jackson.
You just can't.
You can't stop a man like that.
And I think teams are it's dirty. It's a dirty tactic way to play, but I think teams are like
going towards the legs,
gunning for him. Yeah. You know, like if you want to stop this guy, you got to stop him at the source, which is really messed up.
It is very messed up.
True.
Do you remember the Saints, the Bounty Gate in early 2010 or 2010s? Right. I can't believe that's a thing. That's scary.
Like, that just, like, makes my knees hurt.
How much money did they get paid if they hurt another player?
I can't remember. It was, like, bad.
I know. Dude, that's insane.
What happened to the Saints because of that? I don't remember.
I remember Sean Payton got suspended, I think, an entire year.
Didn't they get fined, like, as a team?
They got fined
like,
a lot.
Yeah. Jinx. Like as a whole team, they were just like broke because of that shit. That was terrible.
That's awful.
Oh my.
I wonder where a team comes up with that in the first place. Someone walks into the locker room and says, "You know what? I have an idea.
We're breaking ankles today, boys." And I'm being serious.
We will give you an extra bonus. We will give you money.
10 grand a leg.
Jeez, man.
I don't know if it was that bad, but it could have been worse.
Might have been.
Probably worse. It was probably a lot more money.
I don't doubt it. That's just scary.
But would it surprise you if a scandal came out about that as a team trying to take down Lamar Jackson from his source?
No, I would not. Well,
obviously, I wouldn't want it to happen.
I think there are a lot more. I think it's more okay. And I was talking to my boss and my psychology teacher about this. We think it's actually okay. It's more okay today now to be a snitch.
Yes.
Than it was 10 years ago, 20 years ago. And I'm not saying that you're applauded to be a snitch, but we are a lot more lenient within snitching.
And especially like within sports.
Okay. Because I'm talking, yeah. Okay.
Like, especially because, like, when something like that's happening, like, say, like, I don't know, like, say a team that was happening again where, like, a coach was like, I'll give you $40,000 extra if you hurt someone's leg. And someone on that team was like, that's unethical and spoke up about it. I feel like he'd be praised.
I don't consider that snitching, though.
But
Is
you
that
are.
snitching? At what point does that become snitching? Seriously. At what point does telling someone something become snitching? Because
it's legal. It's a legal issue. It's snitching because you're exposing something that is against the law.
Okay.
Snitching.
Yes.
Exactly. Like, I don't get how it's not snitching. Like, if you see something wrong, and imagine how the rest of the team was like, if that happened. If someone was like, oh, guys, I don't think this is okay. And they were like, shut the hell up. And then, like, he went on, like, Good Morning America and was like, yeah, my team is, like, trying to give me money.
Well, that's what Snowden did. And Snowden's praised.
That's
for
what I'm saying.
being a whistleblower, though.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like if that happened in, like, the sports world, that athlete would be praised. I'm saying the team would be pissed and, like, his...
Of course.
Fellow coworkers, like the other athletes on the team, would be like upset. But like, I feel like ESPN would be like, this hero. You know what I mean?
It's such a hard topic because what I was talking about with my boss and with my teacher was, say for example, you're friends with someone and they get heavily into drugs, right? And you think you want to tell their parents. Right?
Okay.
You want to tell someone that they have a problem and if they keep going, they're going to die. And this can really just go for anything,
It's
right?
just a safety issue, though.
Yeah, but it's also a safety issue if you tell people that there's a bounty out for them if they're trying to get hurt.
I don't think you can... I don't know. Part of me feels like you can't compare it to, like, your friend having a drug problem.
Okay.
Because I feel like...
But 1 second... Actually, no, you can finish off. I apologize. I don't want to cut you off.
No, it's like, if your friend has a drug problem or, like, you think your friend is harming themselves, preventing harm is a good thing.
You're contradicting yourself, though, right now. Because if you have a bounty on someone and you literally try to take out their legs, you could be ending their entire career. That is doing harm.
Yeah. You're preventing harm. That person in a sports team who's speaking up and saying, yeah, guys, this isn't okay, prevented harm. You telling your friend, I think you should stop doing drugs, and then telling their parent or guardian, your son is doing drugs.
Yeah.
Preventing harm.
But didn't you just try to say that wasn't? I'm
I
not
said
trying to put words into your mouth.
What I'm trying to say is I think it's ethical to snitch.
Okay.
If somebody is going to physically harm themselves or others.
Okay.
I'm not saying like petty little lies or like, I don't know.
Because at that point, that's snitching.
That's snitching.
I
Like,
agree.
I don't know. You steal a chocolate bar and your buddy's like, he's stealing. Like, it's like, dude, what the fuck? I just, like, you know? Or, like, you're cheating on a test and the kid behind you's like, Miss P, Brandon's cheating. Like, you're like, you fucking snitch. Like, that's, like, not cool.
I agree.
You're doing something wrong, but it's not that big of a deal.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. I say that a lot. I realize that.
You snitch on people for cheating?
No, I was saying that I say that's interesting a lot. Because a lot of things that we discuss is interesting because I have no clue at what point. So if it's preventing the harm of somebody, that's snitching. But let me isn't that what you tried to say?
It's snitching by definition, but I think it's ethical. Like, ethical. Okay. Like, I feel like that's the best possible time to snitch. I'm not saying it's not snitching because textbook definition and you're a snitch, but okay. All right. Does that make any sense?
It does. As if you're preventing the harm of somebody, then it's...
I would want you to tell my mother if I had, like, a horrible problem and you thought I was going to die. Like, I would want, like, a close friend of mine to be like, Miss Rutherford, your daughter is about to jump off a bridge. Like, you're snitching on me because I'm jumping off a bridge. Mm-hmm. But I'd be pissed if you were like, Georgia's sneaking out because she wants to go get ice cream. Like, that'd make me angry. Yeah, I'm not doing anything. I'm doing something wrong because I'm not supposed to be out. But am I really doing something wrong? Because I would just want to go get ice cream?
Well, that's a different story.
Exactly. There you go. Like, both of them are snitching, but it's like...
What's an okay level of snitch? Okay. All right.
What's like, okay, you're being a dick. And then what's like, thank you for saving my life, you know?
Okay. All right. I think we can come to a compromise here.
Can we talk about Tim Tebow playing tight end?
I wanted to get to Tim Tebow when we were talking about football. But then the whole snitching
left
idea
turn.
came. Yeah. But let's go
right
turn back to Tim Tebow.
Do you think he's going to be good?
Considering his body size,
he got like bigger.
That motherfucker's huge.
Like, have you seen like the pictures of him like compared to when he was a quarterback to now?
Actually, no, I haven't.
Like, he's like huskier.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, you have to be if you want to be a tight end, though.
I just want to know when he woke up in the morning and was like, it's the Jaguars, right?
Yeah.
I want to be a tight end for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Like, what in his life was happening where he was like, I think I want to go back to the NFL?
Money. And a lot of players want to play football. I mean, look at Tom Brady. If Tom Brady didn't enjoy football, do you think he would still be playing? I can put money on it that Tim Tebow is not only doing it for the money and is doing it because he actually wants to get back into football, which is why he's going back in as a tight end, because he probably realizes that he can't be in the league as a quarterback anymore because he's not as maybe talented as other quarterbacks are.
Do you think that people are going to have a higher standard for him? Or do you think they're going to compare him fairly to other tight ends?
I hope that they compare him fairly, but I wouldn't be surprised if they have a higher standard for him because he's Tim Tebow.
Yeah, like, it kind of sucks, though, because they expect him to be phenomenal. Like, most people, they're either like, oh, he's going to suck, or, oh, he's going to be really good, he played football. Mm-hmm. But that's not his natural position. I don't know what he played in high school.
I don't either. Well, a lot of players switch what they play in the NFL. I mean, a lot of people thought that Lamar Jackson was supposed to be a running back. Yeah.
Yeah. I still kind of think that he should be.
I don't think he should. I think he should be a quarterback.
I think he's a phenomenal quarterback, but imagine if, like, he switched.
I mean, if you have that much talent as a quarterback, I think you should just stay at that position.
But imagine, like, mid-game.
But he'd read options all the time.
They're switching quarterbacks, and Marshawn Lynch is he's playing running back. Like, what? Like, they're switching quarterbacks, and Marshawn Lynch, and then fucking Lamar Jackson, like, just everybody's switching their positions, coming in and out of football. It's just, like, crazy to me. Mm-hmm. And also, I wanted to talk to you about, what's that receiver's name?
Terrell
Patriots.
Pryor. Oh.
He just retired. I'm drawing a blank.
Oh, Julian Edelman.
Do you think he's going to go to play with Brady?
I think he's so loyal to New England, I don't think he's going to do so. He's so loyal. He's been there for 11, 12 years. He said that he loves that city. He's not leaving.
But
He's
what if
retiring
it's a
with-
trick, like Gronkowski?
like Gronk did? Yeah. Did you hear what Gronk said that he did whenever he would switch the t-shirt and just say it was on different days? What a genius.
He just did one workout and just changed.
What a smart guy. See, that's finessing the system.
Yeah.
He self-snitched right there. He self-snitched, but that was funny.
But
I thought that was a funny thing.
he
for him to
couldn't
do.
get in trouble because it was past due anyway.
Yeah.
Like, his coach was like, "You motherfucker!" Like, but if they do training like that this year, he's not going to get away with it.
But also, the training is going to be in person, though, I would think. So, I mean,
Hopefully.
yeah, I wouldn't think that they would end up having to get away with that in the first place. But
I'm still not over that Tim Tebow is going to be a tight end.
I'm excited for him.
I really want to know how that goes.
And they could probably switch to him mid-game, too.
Right? Like
Yeah.
fake plays?
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence passes it to
I mean, look at
Tim
Taysom Hill.
Tebow. Tim Tebow throws a touchdown pass to Trevor Lawrence. What is going on?
Hell yeah.
That'd be badass.
That would be. Also, we're on the topic of football, and I know the listeners are more than likely going to hear you want to talk about football. So, let's talk a little bit about your kicking career.
Yes, I played football. I was kind of okay at it sometimes.
Okay.
I tore my MCL twice.
Did you really?
I tore my meniscus freshman year. I have crappy knees.
How? How'd you tear it?
I just have really crappy knees. Like
Oh.
growing up, I would always hurt my knees. So like I didn't really have to do much to hurt my knees. And
How
then,
painful was it?
God, worst pain in my life. Second time was worse than the first time.
Okay.
I tore my meniscus on my left leg.
Mm.
And then this year, I like did something to my MCL. I didn't tear it completely, which is good because I need to leave for the Navy pretty soon.
Yeah.
But it hurt real bad. And I tried to play through it like a dumbass and made it worse. Yeah. I was like, oh, it's senior year, I have to play. And then I barely played.
I've noticed that a lot with, I would say especially football players. They go through injuries and they want to keep such a, strong man image that they play
I
through
think
bad injuries and just hurt themselves even more.
It's an ego thing. And for me, it was like, I'm like a half decent kicker. Like, I'm not going to be like, oh, it's really good.
What's your PR?
I don't even know anymore. I would say the furthest I've ever gotten practicing was like in the 40s.
Seriously?
Which is like decent.
That's still good. I couldn't
That was
probably
like
kick a 10.
that was like preseason before I hurt my knee. Like I always would practice really well preseason and then just plummet during the season because like I kicked too much and messed up my knees. It was just all on me. And so senior year, I like was like, oh my God, like I can play more this year. Like I'm excited. This is last season. And then I'm like, oh, my knee kind of hurts. But then I'm like, oh, I really want to play. So I like practiced through it and then I made it worse and I didn't play like a single game senior year.
So I think we discussed this on the last podcast, but I have another question. How do you deal with the hate that comes along with you being a female football player?
This phrase, what other people think about you is none of your business at all. People's opinions of me, because someone said this to me and it changed my life because I have really bad anxiety and I get really anxious that people don't like me.
Okay.
And I had a bad day at work and my good friend picked me up from work that day and took me home. And he looks at me and he goes, Georgia, do you like everybody you meet? And I kind of was like, that makes so much sense. I don't like everybody I meet.
Mm-hmm.
But like my thing is if you're like kind and respectful and you're like present yourself like in a good way, in a good light, and you're kind, like I said, I used that word twice already, but like if you're just a good person and like you're trying to be a good person, I've changed so much in the past year. Like I just try so hard to be nice to everybody because I'm leaving soon. I just want to leave back a good note. Like I care, but I don't care at the same point. But like I said, if I'm being nice, does it really matter what people think about me?
I My opinion on this entire situation in general, I'm not saying just discussing you.
Yeah.
But I think that you should definitely listen to what other people have to say, but just don't let it control your life.
That too. Like, I'm not saying, like, I don't take
Consideration
and, like, criticism that's beneficial, because if anything's constructive, I'm going to take it with my whole heart.
Okay.
But I'm talking from the sense of people that don't know me. Like, if you said something about me, I'd probably take it to heart. Like, if I found out, like you said, you didn't like something the way that I did, because I've known you for so long, and you, like, you know me, right? If you said something about me, I'd be like, oh, I should probably fix that.
Okay.
Like, if you and, like, a couple other of my close friends were like, Georgia, you're being kind of a douche, I'd evaluate it, and I'd be like, okay, what am I doing
to make me seem like a douche?
And how can I make myself better? That, yes. But when I have strangers giving me opinions on different things, it's like, who cares? Because I used to get really anxious about when people would be like, oh, so-and-so doesn't like you. And I'd be like, oh, why don't they like me? Because I think you're the same, where you want everybody to just enjoy your presence, right?
Not anymore.
But you used to be like that. I used to be like that. And I'm getting better at not being like that, which I respect you for a lot. So it's like, whatever. We're all on a floating rock anyway, hurtling towards nothing. So what really matters besides being a good person? It's true.
You good?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm happy.
All right.
I'm in a good spot. I'm, like, so ready to travel and explore the ocean and just save people and do cool stuff with
Isn't that existential nihilism?
Yes, it is.
I remember I learned about that because of an episode of SpongeBob. SB129. It was the episode where SpongeBob and Squidward go back in time.
Okay.
And the future. That episode.
Why is everything gross?
Yes. That episode.
Yeah.
Because that entire episode is existential nihilism.
Yeah, like, I feel like you have to have a little bit of it in your life, because if things get too overwhelming, settle down, you know? Like, life, I tell everybody this, like, life is full of peaks and valleys, man. Like, my brother says that to me all the time. He's a little stoner. Like, don't let the highs get too high, and don't let the lows get too low. Like, for me, life is just kind of not even about being happy, because you can't be happy without being sad. Contentness with your surrounding world and everything around you, right? Like, you just want to be content with your emotions. That's my main goal in life, is not happiness, because that's unrealistic. You can't be happy all the time. That's not how human emotions work. Contentness.
Okay. I like that.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Peaks and valleys. Every valley has a peak. And every peak has a valley. That's just how life goes.
One of my sayings that I've really started, I would say, focusing on recently is don't mistake your comfort with happiness.
Yeah.
Because it's really easy, and
I would rather be comfortable than happy.
I disagree, because comfort can be very dangerous for a person, because comfort can be you being addicted to the drug. Comfort can be you know.
I think I confused in my head comfort with contentness.
Yeah. And I didn't mean to confuse you up on that, but I'm talking about comfortable as in a lot of people are comfortable with the situation that they are in at that moment, being afraid to branch out.
Change is hard. Change is so fucking scary. Change is so fucking scary. I was talking to, like, when you join the Navy, you get an onboarder, and he's like your mentor through, like, your entire Navy career. So, like, if I ever needed him, he's a phone call away. Like, it's a really cool thing that the Navy does, right? And I was telling him, I was like, I feel like I'm standing at the edge of a cliff and I'm about to jump, right? Because like, it's just like that because I'm leaving in 60 days. I think today is like 63 days until I'm gone, right? That's fucking terrifying. I spent 12 years, you go to school, summer break, then you go to school again. You go to school, summer break, then you go to school again, right? It's this pattern that you get so used to, right? And not gonna lie, you get to continue that pattern. You have the summer, and then you go to school. And then when you're graduating college, you're probably gonna have like a similar feeling to what I have right now, where it's like, oh no, I have to do everything myself and I'm not going to school. I have to go like work.
Mm-hmm.
I have to provide for myself. I have to have a job. I'm done being a kid. Like my childhood is over in 60 days. And then I have to go get yelled at by a drill sergeant and get taught how to fold socks and how to do my bed and, you know, like be an adult.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, that's fucking scary. Like, I'm not even nervous for basic training or any of that. I'm actually very excited for training. But leaving is the hardest fucking thing ever.
How long are you going to be gone for?
So like I'll leave and then I'll be gone. I'll be at basic training for 3 months, I think, and then September. I might be able to come home in September, but probably not. And then I have school, like a school, where you learn like your actual job and like what you're in the Navy to do. So I'll be in Texas after being in Illinois. I'll be in Texas for 12 weeks. And then after that, I go to specialty school to specialize in. So I signed on as a corpsman. So that's like it's like civilian side paramedics, basically.
Okay.
And then you can specialize to like what you want to do. So I want to do like medevac and stuff like that, or even like you could specialize in like dentistry as a corpsman. Like you can go into any medical field, right? So then you have to go to specialty school, and then after that I'm at whatever shipper base they want to put me on. So it's just like scary, and I'm happy that I'm joining the military because it gives me a routine. But it's like, oh, I'm so jealous of like my friends going to college, because like if you're in school and you want to go home, you can just go home. You can drop out and go home. I owe them 6 years.
Are you afraid?
Nah, yeah.
I could tell. You speak with a lot of fear within your future is going to look like.
I'm not scared per se. I'm just anxious.
Okay, see, that's a better word.
That's a better word. It's like you're used to doing the same thing over and over again, and when it stops, it's just like, ooh. You know?
I'm not taking away of what you're saying, but I think it's interesting how you look at this as such a serious change in your life, and a lot of people are going through the same aspects, and they're not looking at it as serious as you are. They're looking at it, oh, I'm going into the military, I'm going into this.
Yeah, like to me it's like,
but something about you finds this, I'm sorry for cutting you off, you just find this very important to you, and it seems as if
I've wanted to do this forever. Okay. Like that's the thing. So it's like, I know in my heart, in my deep soul, that I'm going to be happier once I leave.
You know this.
I know it. Like, that's the one thing that calms me at night is like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. It feels right. It's felt right ever since I signed my contract. Like I had that gut feeling. I was like, this is where I'm supposed to be. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. So it made me feel better. Like the whole process through like MEPS and signing the contract, picking a job, it just all felt like it was supposed to be happening. So I wouldn't say I'm scared for my future. I'm anxious because I know I'm going to miss like my home and my family. Mm-hmm. But I'm not anxious to be in the military.
Okay.
I'm anxious about my childhood ending.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not even... Why?
It might have not hit you yet.
No.
It's hitting me because I had to sit down in an office and have a chief in the Navy say, so you're leaving in 60 days, are you ready? And I don't know why, but I really internalized, so like, are you ready? Because I'm like, am I ready? Like, that's the next like couple years of my life. Like, I'm gonna come back a different person.
That's scary.
I know.
I have no intent to ever want to join the military.
It's personal choice.
Of course.
It's either you want to do it or you don't, you know? There's a lot of people who change their mind like right when they get there though. And I even spoke to like my one friend's an airman, and he said, and a lot of people in the military have said this to me. They're like, you're going to be in your rack on your first night, and all you're going to be thinking is, what the fuck did I just get myself into? And they told me the night's going to feel like 60 seconds and the day is going to feel like 4 days, but it's all going to like zoom by fast in a way. So like, I'm excited for that. And I'm excited to like specialize and do my specialty training. But it's just like, when do I get to come back? You know? And I feel like it's the fact that my home is turning into a place I'm going to visit.
Ah, that's scary.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to devalidate like your experience going to college, but like you're still going to be in Delaware. Mm-hmm. Delaware's not going to be somewhere that I live. It's going to be somewhere that I visit.
You seem like someone who finds home very important.
Oh my God, yeah.
Okay, well that's probably why.
Yeah.
I don't really find the home. Maybe that's just because I'm not going through your situation. I'm going to Delaware, so I don't know what to, internalize what it's going to feel like. But I don't feel that pressure. I don't feel that stress, but I'm only going to UD.
Yeah, no, I feel like maybe not, but I feel like maybe when you're graduating, you're going to text me and be like, oh my God, I get what you're talking about.
Maybe I will.
Because the only people who have related to me are other people joining the military and people that are graduating college, where they're like, oh shit, it's go time. Like,
also, I don't want to split you're talking about the military, but I want to ask you about high school and high school ending. Do you find high school ending this way with COVID? Do you find it different? Or do you feel as if your high school career, you didn't truly experience it how you wanted to experience it?
I honestly don't care. I'm ready to go.
Really?
So that's where I hit a weird crossroad because it's like, yeah, I'm upset that I didn't get to dress up and go to a prom. I'm like, the way the school, like I go into class like twice a week and it's like there's nobody in the building and it's eerie and it's sad. But I just, if it was over tomorrow and I never had to look back again, I'd be okay.
Okay.
If it ended, like, and I know that's different, and I don't want to devalidate anyone who's like actually like upset, and it's like hitting them that they don't have like real high school right now. But to me, I like sleeping in. I like only being on my computer for a couple hours a day. I literally Zoomed on my way to the beach last week.
I believe it.
That was nice.
My opinion on it is I was listening to the seniors last year, and a lot of the people throughout this year were saying, oh my God, I wish I could just have a regular high school year, blah, blah, blah. And I just said, all right, whatever. It's not that big of a deal. You'll have college. But now it's starting to, what really made me come to the realization was today. I went into my Spanish classroom, one of the Spanish teacher's classrooms. And I looked at her desk and I saw the students in her classroom on her Zoom. And I looked at the names and I said, I forgot you went here. And that hit me. That was when, oh my God. I forgot so many people have went to this high school. I haven't seen you.
Because you have friends that are just simply just school friends.
Yes.
That you had one class with, whatever, but like you, like they were funny, like you vibed with them, you thought it was cool, right? Yeah. You'll never see them again.
Oh no.
And that's so sad.
And when graduation comes, I'm going to see hella people that I'm just going to be like.
So you know what's sad about my graduation?
What?
I don't even get to see everybody graduate.
I know.
Because they split it up into 4 groups.
That's sad.
That's sad. That hurts my feelings. That's like the one thing that like, if one thing could be back to normal, that's the thing that I would choose. Because there's people that like, you're like, oh my God, like I went to elementary school with you. Like even if you haven't talked to them since elementary school, or even if like there was turmoil, it's still nice to see them graduate. It's like, wow, we all grew up, you know? It's like that just feeling of like, wow, like we're like old, not like old. But
we
like,
grew up together.
I watched you grow up.
I wasn't talking about we, but I was
like,
just saying we in general.
Like that's fucking trippy.
I know.
Because if you think about it, it's like, oh yeah, me and Brandon met in middle school. There's that. But we watched each other change so much.
I know.
Like that to me is so bizarre. Because it's like, you don't, like time is weird like that. Like it just.
I agree.
You don't realize how fast everything went by until like. Do you remember like, I think it was 6th grade, we got that speech where it was like, it's all going to go by really fast. And we're like, psh. Now we're graduating. You know what I mean?
I don't really think that it went by that fast, though. I thought it went by just as normal, except for this year. Other than that...
This year went so fucking fast.
I know.
Like,
yeah.
someone was like, my teacher was like, you have 2 weeks left, Georgia. Can you turn something in? My senioritis is so bad.
I'm not really worried. I'm going to say this, though, and I'm kind of pissed with my teachers. Did you want to talk about your senioritis?
No.
Okay.
I wanted to know why you're pissed at your teachers.
Because I'm not pissed because I'm an understanding person, but I'm pissed.
You're allowed to be upset.
I'm allowed to be upset. So there's a lot of teachers that I've noticed that are obviously upset with COVID. Okay? I get it. I understand that you are put in situations that you've never dealt with. We're put in situations that we've never dealt with. We both don't know how to deal with this right now. Mm-hmm. But my problem is right now, teachers are teaching their classes, at least from what I've noticed, from more of a group standpoint rather than an individualized, individual-based teaching scale, I guess. Because you can teach a class all you want, but there are certain kids that need to be taught one-on-one, that need to be told need to have these conversations from a teacher straight to you.
Yeah, I'm that student.
Exactly.
Like,
and
this is the worst academically I've ever performed.
Of course, because you're not in a classroom, and I'm not going to lie, the days that I am in the classroom, I'm not really doing any work. I'm literally just talking to my teachers.
It's because you're so used to zoning out of class. I swear to God. Because when I'm in Zoom, I treat it like it's a podcast, and I just put it on and I listen to it while I clean my room. And
that's actually really cool. I never thought of it that way.
Yeah, I just literally just listen to it, and I don't retain anything because I'm half-ass paying attention. And then I do a couple assignments and I close my computer, right? And then you go to school and you're so excited because you have maybe it's your favorite teacher or whatever, and you just kind of how are you doing? You just want to talk to them, right? Because we don't get as much of interaction with other people as we used to, and that's obvious for everybody. But it's you finally are talking to an adult that you haven't seen, that you might look up to. So it's
and the same thing for me is we're talking. You have to remember teachers are also humans, which is why I'm not upset when I get that they're having difficulty teaching as a group. But I think that
they'd be more understanding, though.
They are, but they're not.
Some of my teachers are. Some of my teachers, my English teacher, I could kiss her on her forehead. She has been grading so fairly. She drops deadlines all the time. She's I don't want to be one of those teachers, you know what I mean? That just doesn't care. And then I have teachers that are it's due at 11. But
you have to be more lenient around these times, but at the same time, I think that more students need to stick up for themselves. And I'm not talking as an asshole. I'm saying students need to straight up talk to these teachers and say, I think that you should be talking to me. Hold on. No, let me explain.
Too
let
late
me explain.
In the year
I
to
get
stick
it.
Up
I
for
get
yourself.
it. I understand. But what I'm trying to say is, if you see a kid in the classroom getting bullied, right? And I'm not saying bullied. I'm saying the teacher is obviously picking on them, saying, blank hasn't turned in their homework. They haven't turned in their assignment. Would you feel comfortable if that teacher was saying that to you like that?
No.
And I think that we need either, if you are too afraid to stick up for yourself, someone like me, someone like another person in the classroom needs to say some shit, because imagine you're put in that situation. It's frustrating. I don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that. We have to have these discussions calmly and civilly. I'm obviously, a little frustrated, so I'm putting a little more emphasis and confidence in my words.
I get what you're saying, and I completely agree with you. I completely agree with you. And the thing that sucks about, Brandon, you have 11 missing assignments. Mm-hmm. You could just be, deeply depressed.
Oh my God, I know.
And they don't, they say that they care, but they don't, because
they don't show it. Actions speak louder than words.
Exactly. They're oh, we care about you. And then you have someone that has 15 missing, 45 missing assignments, whatever. They don't show up to class, whatever. Maybe they're overworked. Maybe they're depressed. I know a lot of kids right now are working full-time jobs.
And the teachers don't understand that.
Yeah. And I work part-time, and I even told, I like my algebra teacher. I do like her. And I told her, I was I am so sorry everything is late. Mm-hmm. I worked till midnight.
Yeah.
I just like I get home, like I'm working, you know, like I'm sorry that I put a job first, but that's like my real world, you know, like Zoom doesn't feel real.
No, not at all.
So you can understand why I'd go to work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And not do schoolwork.
And I hate when teachers say, "Oh, a job is something that you can just stop doing." No, because kids, you don't know what the person's parents are going through.
Yeah.
They could be having to do this job because their parents are out of money. They might be having to pay a car payment off or something.
Yeah.
There's so many situations that if we just sat down and had a civilized conversation and explained and understood from both sides, because I'm being a little harsh on the teachers, but I understand what it's like.
But they're also
it.
getting paid to teach us.
But at the same time, they are also humans. So I'm trying to be a mediator. Obviously, I'm going to lean a little bit towards the student side because I'm a student, but I understand that they are humans too, and they are going through some shit themselves. But I think if you
teachers don't get paid all that much.
They don't. So we can't just, push all of our problems on them and expect us to do so much shit. So it's really a, back and forth problem. But the days that I am actually in school, I feel the closest to my teachers that I ever had because there's only 1 or 2, 3 maybe kids in my classroom that I'll just stand up and everyone will be out of the Zoom and I'll just have a genuine conversation with my teachers.
We'll talk about, too.
We'll talk about controversial issues. We'll talk about stuff going on in society today. And it feels nice because I actually am realizing that these teachers are humans and they have opinions just like we do.
But
and it's
also,
important.
I feel like the reason you haven't seen that until now is because you're also getting looked at more as an adult by your teachers. You know what I mean?
Someone said the same thing because we're seniors now. We're more adults.
Think about how different you were at 14 than 18.
Jesus, I know.
Exactly.
It's
so
insane.
I've had more articulated conversations. Articulate? I don't know.
It sounds like a good word for this.
I think so. But I've had better conversations with teachers now. And then they tell you more too. Like,
yes.
They talk back more when like you're older, and it's just the difference is just funny, you know?
It is.
And it's like you're not being talked to like a child anymore because you're not a child anymore. Like, we're going into adulthood, like I said. And it's nice when teachers talk to you like your people.
Yes.
And I feel like now that we're getting that, we crave that conversation. Like you said, like from your teachers, like you stay after and you want to talk to them.
Yes.
And it's because like we're not in school all the time to have the interaction.
We're not.
No, it sucks, but it's... Are you really like, I don't know, like you asked me before, like if I think I'm missing anything. Of course I am.
Of course.
Am I upset by it? Kind of. But can I really miss something I've never really experienced? Like, I've never been a normal senior. That's just not the reality of things.
I get it.
Yeah.
No, I feel strongly about this school issue, and I think that we should start looking at people from more of a understanding perspective.
I hope it goes back to normal for the kids next year, at least a little bit.
I mentioned this before the podcast that I wanted to get to. I learned in psychology today, it's regarding social psychology, and it's about how we deal with issues with other people or us not really being able to put ourselves in other people's shoes.
Empathy?
It's not really regarding empathy, but it's kind of regarding empathy.
Okay.
So it's one of them is, I want to say it's something of attention bias. And what it means is you look at yourself as very important and the center of attention. So I understand that might not make sense, but I'm going to bring up an example.
I get what you mean completely.
So say I'm in the middle of a dining room, right? Okay. I'm in the middle of a restaurant and I drop a fork, right? I drop a spoon or something. I maybe spill my drink. I look around and I think everyone just saw me, right?
You're being a menace to the wait staff, dropping everything.
Yes.
But
what I'm trying to say is, us as human beings, we put ourselves at such a high expectation of people looking at us as important as we look at ourselves. Therefore, we think that when we do something stupid, everyone's watching us.
That's literally like the basis of like being anxious and anxiety is like, it's like, I know nobody gives a shit, but in my head, it's like, what if they do? Mm-hmm. It's like, have you ever worn a coat to school, like a winter jacket, and just feel like a loser? And you're like, why am I? But it's cold outside. Of course you're wearing a winter jacket. Nobody gives a shit. Like,
I always laugh when people at football games ask, they say, can you come and walk me into the stadium? I don't want to walk alone.
Nobody cares.
No one gives a fuck.
But sometimes it's just nice, you know? Like,
yeah. But some people are afraid that those eyes are on you at all times.
I read something online where it was like, have you ever walked into a crowded room and felt like an idiot because everybody turns and looks at you? Yeah. They're looking at you because you made a noise. It's just human reaction to like, if you hear a door open, you're going to look, you know, you're going to look at the door. Yeah, not because so-and-so's walking in and they're like, oh, what a fucking loser. No, it's just somebody opened the damn door. Like,
also, I saw something that made me really interested because it kind of created a very big understanding, because it was something that us as humans do, but we don't realize that we're doing it.
Okay.
And this one was actor-observer bias. If anyone's in my psychology class, I'm sorry if you're listening to this because I'm just reteaching the class.
Reteaching the class.
But I just find this shit very interesting.
Thank you, Mr. Alper.
My pleasure. So
my pleasure.
What I'm trying to say is actor-observer. So basically, if something happens to me, right?
Okay.
I'm put in a situation where I curse out at a teacher, right? They piss me off, right? And I curse at a teacher, right? I'm going to personally blame my environment. I'm going to blame other people for me doing that because we try to create excuses for ourselves, right? However, if another person does that, lashes out, we internalize it and we make it their fault. And it's their fault on the inside that they did that because that is the kind of person that they are. We do that as human beings. We create excuses for ourselves, but we don't for other people.
That's so funny.
Isn't it?
So funny. Doesn't that make you want to be like I do that at work a lot, where it's like, if someone's like being an asshole to me and they're like, what do you mean you don't have any of these in stock? It's like, girl, we sold out. Like, other people want it. But in my head, I'm like, ouch, that hurt my feelings. But then I think about it and I'm like, okay, I try to do this now where I'm like, what if they're just having a shitty day? Mm-hmm. You know, like you just, you know, you think about that. Like, you think about like, what's the matter? Like, I feel like more people should think that way, where it's like, okay, why is this person like the way that they are, and not what did I do wrong, or like what's wrong around in the surroundings. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And there's a rule in the 4 Agreements. Do you know what that is? It's a book.
Like the book about sociology?
It's not sociology. It's 4 rules to live by.
Okay, I think I know what you're talking about.
One of them is don't take things personally.
Yeah.
A lot of things that happen to us are not really personal.
That is going to be running through my head when I am at basic training.
When people are screaming at you?
Yes, because I don't like being yelled at. I hate being yelled at. But my dad also was like, mind you, Georgia, everybody there is either getting paid to get yelled at or getting paid to yell at you. Yep. Don't take it personal. You know, it's a game. Don't take it personal.
Don't hate the player, hate the game.
And maybe you can think about that as life. It's just a game. Don't take it personal. Like, you're just going through steps to progress yourself. It's a game.
I like it.
Maybe it's a simulation. Who knows?
Maybe it is. You wanted to talk about that.
I love the simulation theory.
Tell
we
me
can't
about
talk forever about it because it is almost 9 o'clock, and my mom already did call me. But I do want to talk about simulations.
All right.
So
how much longer do you have?
Enough to talk about simulations. I don't have a time limit on myself.
Good deal.
I have obligations, sadly. But whatever. I'm only here for 62 more days. So anyway, basically the theory on simulations is that we have progressed so much into making simulations that the more we progress to making simulations, the higher of a chance that it is that we are a simulation.
Okay.
You know?
What are examples of simulations? Could that just be a video game? Could that just be... Have
you ever, like VR even, or AI, artificial intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the more we progress artificial intelligence and the smarter the robots get, the more likely it is that we're the robots making robots.
That makes a lot of sense.
Have you ever seen Rick and Morty?
I know exactly what episode you're talking about.
Do you know the episode where his car battery dies and he goes into the damn car battery and it's a universe? And then there's somebody in that universe making another little universe box. And then it's a pattern, it's a pattern. Who fucking knows if we're, like, not somebody's car engine? Like, who really knows?
Sounds like a DMT trip right now.
I know, but tell me. I'm saying, like, the fact that in that episode that he progressed to an extent where he could make a universe. Who says that universe can't progress to make a universe, and then that universe can't progress to make a universe? You know what I mean?
It's literally just a never-ending universe.
It's never ending. So what if we're stuck in something? We could be on, like, a fucking dandelion floating, like, Horton Hears a Who, and we just don't know.
I don't think it matters.
How does that make you feel, though?
Honestly, I don't think that really matters.
That doesn't change my perception on life at all.
No shot. I'm still going to live life the exact same way it is. Have you watched... Sorry, go on. My bad.
I wasn't talking.
Oh.
What have I watched?
Have you watched the movie Martyrs?
No, I haven't.
That is the most disturbing movie I have ever watched in my life.
What's it about?
It's NC-17 because it's one of the most disturbing movies of all time.
Really?
Yes.
Is that the movie that was, like, all the reviews were like, you have to be prepared mentally to watch this movie?
Probably.
Okay.
But I watched a Serbian film, which is considered one of the most disturbing movies of all time. I didn't think that movie was that big of a deal. A lot of people said that movie was so disgusting.
Did you understand, like, their language?
No, subtitles. I just thought the movie was really stupid.
Maybe it's, like, something that you'd take in, or if it was in English. I don't know.
No. Literally, the movie consisted of so much disgusting things. I was just sitting there, and I was just like, all right. Okay, cool.
Gore?
I mean, a dude. Well, I mean, do you want to know some details of the movie?
That doesn't disgust me. I'm, like, going into a medical field.
All right, fair enough. Well, that movie that was just created to be disturbing, right?
Okay.
But Martyrs, on the other hand, had an actual meaning behind it.
Okay.
And it was really, really, really disturbing, other than the gore factor. Because the movie was all about, I don't know what a martyr is, but...
Like, Jesus was a martyr.
Okay.
Like, that's, like, you're dying for a purpose.
There's two different parts of the movie.
I think. I could be wrong.
Okay. Oh, it is dying for a purpose. That is
could
true.
be not correct.
I'm definitely going to have to cut all this out.
I saw online that there was, like, a death metal... He was, like, in a death metal band. I don't remember what it was, but he was in a coma because of COVID, like a COVID-induced coma. Mm-hmm. And he said that he doesn't like satanic music anymore because he met the devil and he didn't like him and he was a loser. That was, like, his speech. Was like, yeah, the devil's not that cool. That's literally what he said. He said the devil looked like Jabba the Hutt. I thought it was so funny. Like, he, like, dedicated his life to making, like, satanic music and just, like, hard rock music. And he was like, I don't think it's that cool anymore because he, like, went to hell and didn't have a good time, but, like, almost in a, like, the fuck is this? It's kind of lame. Like,
are you serious?
Yes, I, like, read a whole article on it. I'll send it to you. It's
Please
fucking hilarious.
I want to read this.
Like, he literally was like, yeah, I met the devil. Not all that. It was so funny.
That's crazy. I'm gonna have to read this now.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. It was so fucking funny, but just imagine how disappointing that was for him. He was like, "Oh,
you literally make.
I thought you were gonna be cool." Like,
make music about the devil your entire life. You meet him. He was a bitch.
They tell you not to meet your what is it? Well, they tell you not to meet your heroes anyway. So
seriously,
yeah, like
because they're probably just humans.
Yeah, they just
Regular
someone that
people.
you've looked up to your whole life. They tell you you're not supposed to meet them because you're just gonna be disappointed. Mm-hmm. And imagine if they're like an asshole. I would absolutely sob for 3 days if I met Chase Young and he was like, I don't want to take a picture with you. Dennis Rodman, his future and Dennis Rodman, like that kind of situation where like Future slept with his wife because he asked for an autograph and Dennis Rodman was like, no, I don't got time for that. So Future internalized that and then fucked his wife a couple years later. I wouldn't do anything of that caliber. I think I'd just cry and maybe like pass out.
I had an entire discussion on people wanting to act like Future. You know what?
If a man follows Hoodville and idolizes Future, I'm like, okay, bye. Like, it's funny.
It is very funny.
I think some of that humor is hilarious. I follow Hoodville. I think they're fucking funny.
I think they're hilarious.
I read some of it and I'm like, that's funny.
Little Aiden and his fruit snacks.
Yes, it's hilarious, but it's also like, ooh.
Oh, no. I mean,
red flag.
I 100% read Hoodville's posts because they're hilarious, but no shot I would ever live like that.
See, I have a weird sense of humor because I grew up with all boys. I played football.
Yeah,
but I also can see it from a female perspective. So yeah, I can sit and be like, that's funny, but ooh.
I understand.
I need to walk away. Like, but Brandon.
I understand.
My mom's going to kill me.
I know.
My boyfriend's going to kill me.
All good.
Can we conclude?
Yeah, of course. I appreciate everyone for tuning in. Thank you very much for coming in once again.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. I'm glad that we filmed a podcast that's actually postable. I don't mean that offensively.
Ouch.
Sorry about that.
Love you too, Brandon. Thanks for having me on your show.
Yeah, no problem. It was nice to have you, and I appreciate, once again, I love to have the guests hit the red button. Have a wonderful day, y'all.
I get to press it?
Yeah.